Hello, this is the fourth part of the second half of Act 2. This is the end of Act 2. Once we finish this section, we're going to go into Act 3, which takes us back onto the main storyline where we will be dealing with that story problem. So this Act 2, Ruth has become the kind of person who could fulfill the story goal. She has been accepted into the Israelite community, particularly into Boaz's household. And she is taking up the mantle to fulfill the story goal. This part of Act 2, there's a sort of an all is lost moment, or there's a bit of a death, there's a bit of a dying, there's a bit of loss that happens here. And I am reading into the story here, so this doesn't come naturally out of the text, I don't think, but from story theory, I am reading into it here, so just take what I say with a grain of salt. This part of the story happens from verses 16 to verses 18. So Ruth has made it safely back from the vulnerable, unsafe, exposed position of being on Boaz's threshing floor at night as a woman. She makes it back to her mother-in-law. Naomi asks, "How did it go, my daughter?" Then she told her everything Boaz had done for her and added, "He gave me these 6 measures of barley, saying, 'Don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed.'" Now, so it doesn't show here that she has told, well, it doesn't show on set what she says to Naomi in terms of, wait, there's another kinsman redeemer. There's one that's closer, and he's actually, well, Boaz is actually favorable, but there's someone else. So here, the emphasis of what Ruth is saying is, he gave me these 6 measures of barley, saying, "Don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed." And then Naomi's response is interesting as well. "Wait, my daughter, until you find out what happens, for the man will not rest until the matter is settled today." So here it looks like either way the story goal might be fulfilled, that whether this new kinsman does accept Ruth or not, Boaz seems pretty keen to have Ruth. But here we see a bit of angst that Ruth has, because she's emphasizing Boaz's kindness. It seems like she might like him not just out of duty for what she can do in marrying Boaz for a mother-in-law, but maybe she has started to develop feelings for her as a woman, feelings for him as a woman looking for a potential partner, or who would she like to be with. Naomi's response, "Wait, my daughter, until you find out what happens," kind of suggests that Naomi is also not focused in her answer there. Maybe she's not focused on what on the story goal here either, that Ruth is going, like, there are 2 possible pathways now for achieving the story goal of begetting the kingly family line. But here she seems to be counseling her as someone who maybe is in love with someone but might be forced to marry someone else. Again, I'm reading into it, but here she's counseling her to wait, and that seems to be reading into it that maybe it's a response to the angst that Ruth feels about the possibility of having to marry someone when she has started to place her hope on Boaz and maybe develop feelings and really enjoys the possibility of marrying Boaz, but the possibility that could be taken away and that she would be forced to marry someone else, that seems to be a hard thing for Ruth reading between the lines here. So here, this part of the story is a point where everything could fail, like there's an all is lost moment, and that could be drawn out here by reading into the text, because up until this point, Ruth has been loyal to Naomi, she's been loyal to God, be part of the Israelite family, and she has not wavered at all. But here we get a first little smell of wavering, where she's not being pulled to the story goal of continuing the family line. She's being pulled to Boaz. This is the first, like, this could fail if the real kinsman redeemer is this other man, and Boaz and Ruth decide to go their own way, then that would not be a good outcome for the story. So I guess drawing that part out in this part of the story this is where that would happen, this sense that it might all fail. That's where we leave it in Act 2 on a very uncertain, precarious note. Going into Act 3 in the next video, and back on track with the plot line of the story now. So we've had some character development, and now we're going to leap into Act 3, not feeling at all certain about the outcome. We're very uncertain and very anxious about how it's going to turn out, but that's how we enter into Act 3. Hope to see you there.